All right, we are live.
I am, are you?
Mostly. There are parts that aren't quite as alive as others.
Oh. There you go. So that's new, that thing?
No, it's old.
I've never seen it.
What thing?
This giant.
That thing pointing at you?
Mhm.
I love it a whole lot.
I didn't even notice that.
Where can I get one?
The only good thing about headphones is that they hold your glasses on. It's the only good thing. Play an Irish song,
Do I know any Irish?
Danny Boy. Irish Spring. How many do we have?
52.
Let's wait another minute. So I put on Facebook today, I just discovered the Yo-Yo Ma's Songs of Comfort, which I've not been keeping up with. And he does Danny Boy with that woman, the pianist, who's fabulous.
Did you see him playing for the people getting their COVID shots?
Yes.
Was that just
That was so cool.
heartbreaking?
Yeah, that was wonderful.
Who is that woman that plays the piano?
I don't, I saw her name. I did not recognize her, but boy, she plays beautifully. How we doing?
We are at 57.
Catherine Stott is her name, Rob, the
Catherine
pianist
Stott.
that plays with Yo-Yo Ma. I just Googled it.
Catherine with the K.
Catherine with a K and a Y.
That Danny Boy's accompaniment is busy.
It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, it's really great. But
Okay, let's do it. Folks at home, we're going to do three things tonight. We're going to run over Morning Has Broken and the Hallelujah Chorus, because we're recording those this weekend. But in between, we will do I Was Glad. So Morning Has Broken, I Was Glad, Hallelujah. So you can put your music in that order. Let's take the Morning Is Broken from the top. Please remember just basic things we've talked about, like those exposed places like in measure 24 when the basses come in a beat early. Be stronger. I think it needs to be more than piano. And then it happens again with altos and basses in top of page 4, measure 28. You know all those places. And it's altos and tenors in measure 36. Just be ready to lead. Here we go. 1 and 2 and. This is all the ladies.
morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken.
Devin will have the soprano solo. And go.
Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the warm light, Eden's something, praise with elation, like every morning, God's
You'll have a long time to stand still whenever we do this piece, wherever, in whatever spot you're singing. On page 7 at the bottom, God's recreation of the new day. I should have put a carryover at recreation to the next page. That's going to be an easy place to want to take a breath and just sort of rear back for the last few notes. Please don't do that. I mean, none of y'all did, but let's make sure that people at home, you mark it, God's recreation of the new day. And several reasons for that. First of all, it interrupts the middle of a sentence, but also we should probably see the crescendo at the top of page 8 starts on beat 1. You know, I say never start a crescendo on a strong beat. We should back up that crescendo to the last half of that measure at the bottom of page 7. God's recreation of, that's when it should start. So if you don't breathe, it gives you a chance to do that.
Just so you'll know, there are different page numbers.
I'm so glad.
Your page 7 is on 8.
When I get to heaven, if I go to hell, all the page numbers will be different.
Sid, can I ask a question?
Eternity. Yes,
We're
ma'am.
pronouncing that recreation, right?
That's recreation of the new day.
Okay, great. Just making sure. Thank you.
Do we have any questions? Can't imagine that we do. Whenever we sing this, wherever we are, whether we're stretched from front to back like we will be on Sunday or we're in the choir loft, this can really benefit from some pretty florid phrasing. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning. I mean, really almost tell yourself you're going to be overly romantic with it, especially behind a mask. It makes it come through.
They asked if we can just sing it one more time all the way through.
They, who is they? Kidding. It's all right. It's perfectly all right. It's beautiful. I want to hear it again. That'll give us a chance to do what I just asked you to do. Make a bigger deal out of phrases and make the text just drippy, you know? Here we go. 1 and 2 and... Show us.
Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing.
Now, as the volume gets bigger, the shapes can get bigger, more dynamic. And mine is
the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light, Eden so great within praise every morning, God's recreation.
lovely. In measure 58, make sure that last chord, that A major chord, is really in tune. Friends at home, when we get there, make sure that really locks in, because it's a little bit of a surprise. And the other thing is at the top of page, oh shoot, measure 48, 49, be careful, ladies, well, all of us, because it can go, mine is the morning. The dynamic can really jump up, can pop, but we don't want that to be. We want mine is the morning. Okay? Are we good? Good to go on to Perry. I was glad.
Thank you.
Let's look first on the Jerusalem part, the double choir part. And let's take the first choir first, and then we'll go back and do the second choir. See where we are, top of page 6? 2, yay! 2 and 3 and 1. That's too fast, so it's my fault. And 1, 2, sorry, 3, 4, 1. On that measure right there, on in itself, first altos bring that up, bring it out as you go up. Second altos bring that out as you go down. We weren't singing it right then, but when you do, bring it up. I think this part can benefit from not being so legato because it's such a thick texture, and there are a lot of accents in there that I think are original, that are his. Let's do it one more time. First choir. 2, 3, and 1. Real sharp. And any questions from first choir on that? It's sort of a sing-off, this section. No? None? All right, here we go. Second choir, which looks strangely like the first choir. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3. it's because this is the part I always sang, but I think the second choir has an easier time making it marcato than the first choir does. There are not nearly so many sustained notes, and it's just sort of like quarter note, bricks in a wall. Jerusalem is builded. Because once again, you've got two full choirs, and look what's happening in the organ. There's just a lot of business going on. Let's do that one more time, second choir. Here we go, real sturdy. 2, 3.
Jerusalem is builded as a city, is builded as a city,
And sturdy.
that is that
Sing in itself. I think I was hearing something that wasn't there. In itself, 3, and. Yeah, it's got to be really in tune, especially tenors. You're in an octave with the sopranos and with the first tenors as well. So there are a lot of D's going on. Good. Any questions about those parts? These are not the hardest parts. Any questions about these parts? Okay, sorry to interrupt. Let's go back to page 4 and have Grace, if you would sing first soprano, and Mike, if you would sing first tenor. This is the only div easy, right? Our feet. Friends at home, make sure you don't sing our feet. It's mostly our feet, our feet. Here we go. Sorry, one more time, Rob. 3 and 1.
our feet shall stand in thy gates. Our feet shall stand in thy gates, O Jerusalem. Our feet shall stand, shall stand in thy gates. Our feet shall
Good. It's scary to sing it as a quartet, is it not?
I think I messed something up top of 5.
I don't think you were by yourself.
Fantastic.
Everybody should have a lift after gates. Stand in thy gates, O gates, O. Do you want to hear do your part by itself? Okay, this is alto. From, top of 4, last measure?
Sure.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Our feet shall stand in thy gates, O Jerusalem.
And
Our feet shall stand.
3 and 1.
Our feet shall stand, shall stand in thy gates, O Jerusalem.
Good. That was good. It's interesting that on the downbeat of the second measure at the top, our feet shall stand, you are lower in your voice than anybody else is. So that we should have some, Earth Mother sounds coming there. Our feet shall stand. And when you get to gates, it's gates, oh, it's
Yes, sorry.
rhythmic. Gates, oh. Shall we try it again in the same way, top of page 4?
Still first?
Still first, yes. 3 and 1.
Our feet shall stand in thy gates. Our feet shall stand in thy gates. Our feet shall stand. Our feet shall stand. Shall stitch in the stones. Shall stand in thy gates. Our feet shall stand.
Good. Rob, would you play just one chord of the parts on the downbeat of the third measure at the top of 5? It's gates and stand. One more time.
Isn't that right?
I think the tenors are an A. Yeah. Downbeat of the third measure, top of page 5. That's an itchy little moment. And look how the tenors are over the altos, above the altos, and are really close to the sopranos.
I always think I'm wrong on that.
Yeah. It's pretty soupy. All right, let's go back and do second soprano and second tenor, starting on page 4. Oh, second tenor part's the same as the first tenor part, Mike.
I was gonna say.
Sorry, I always forget that.
And do you mind just solidifying the alto entrance when we come in? Because I've just not gotten that. I'm sorry, altos.
At the beginning of where you come in?
Mm-hmm.
No, alto is the next
I
one.
was just getting her there.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Well, and you're right up against the tenors. Tenors are on E and you're on F. You're almost like in a different key. All righty, here we go. Seconds this time. 3 and 1.
Our feet shall stand in thy gates. Our feet shall stand in thy gates. Our feet shall stand. Our feet shall stand. Shall stitch in the stones. Shall stand in thy gates. Our feet shall
Good. Any questions? Good. I thought we would get to more of that tonight, but it's not anybody's fault but my own. Let's go ahead and look at Hallelujah Chorus. You know all this stuff. You know how to do it. Here we go. 3 and. And. Biggest. Balance.
King of kings and Lord of lords, King of kings and Lord of lords, and he shall reign forever and ever, forever and ever, forever and ever. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
One thing we need to think about before Sunday is we will not be doing this with a percussion instrument the way we are now. We'll be doing it with a wind instrument in this big old room spread out like a warm breakfast. So you have to really, really, really pay attention to what you see and not what you hear. You cannot depend on your ear. Friends at home. Also on page, I bet we have different numbers. Page 11.
I've got page 201.
Where it says biggest yet, in the middle of page 11, that King of Kings. Altos and tenors make a big deal of that rhythm. If you're singing too loudly to do that rhythm, you're singing too loudly. King of kings and Lord of lords. Doesn't happen, but I think 4 times. So, okay. Yes.
On page 8, the first measure, when the sopranos and altos are singing the first King of Kings, the quarter notes, are you wanting legato on those, or are you wanting those to have buoyant?
No, it's not legato. I don't think there's anything legato about this piece except the kingdom of this world. That's the only time this is legato. So it should be King of Kings. And that's the picture. Everything else is the frame. Forever and ever. And Lord of Lords is the picture. Frame. Forever, forever. That's content. Okay. Any other questions? All right. Let's Zoom. We have lots to talk about. Thank you, singers.